Shalom, shalom to the 144,000, the elect. Before I get started, let me give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahushua, Bahashem, Rakaha Kodash. Double honor to the Apostle Nelson, the great millstone. Peace and blessing to the brothers that are preaching the truth in the four winds of the earth. May Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahushua have mercy upon you. This video came across my phone, so I ran to the computer to do it. Couldn't find it, so I went to the brother's page, the Hopeful Elect 3. The name of his video is the American Prison. The American Prison Us. And that us, we know who that us is, you so-called black, Hispanics, and natives of this land. So, and he got chained, puts us in chains, right? But the thing is that Esau Edom knows that that his kingdom is done. This video was done 3 months ago, but it came across my screen, so guess what? The Lord put it on my spirit to do what? Do a lesson on it. So this is what I'm going to do. So listen up.
How frustrating it is to see so many people in denial. I would love to talk more about this. For everyone who saw my last video and put a comment saying that we're already free, everything's fine, you are in delusional denial. You are experiencing cognitive dissonance, and many of you have Stockholm Syndrome. So let's talk more about how...
Who is he talking about? Many of you have Stockholm Syndrome. He's speaking about you Israelites. Right? I mean, if he appears to be a so-called white man, so he can't be talking about himself, Stockholm Syndrome, because he didn't receive the beatings and the slavery and Jesus beating the name Jesus beating into you until you had no hope. In other words, they're women. We're just gonna see him as what he appeared to be, right? Because he's speaking on the system. It's amazing how they speak on the system now and give you truth, because a lot of them just kept their mouth closed. Because why? Because they were reaping the benefits of what slavery and their forefathers had left them. So now the terror is coming upon them. So now what? Now they're getting ready to see they're feeling the realities of what? Of the right hand of the Lord.
How we are occupied, how we're living in a prison system. Right off the bat, the Federal Reserve. You need to understand what the Federal Reserve is. It is a criminal organization. Its entire business model is a Ponzi scheme. Literally, I'm not being facetious, I'm not exaggerating.
But it was okay when he was reaping the benefits of his forefathers. Now he wants to come out and give you all what? Give you all the truth and tell you all because he feels the walls are closing in on what? On them. Job 21 and 20 and 22. In the fullness of his sufficiency, he shall be in straits. Because now they're feeling the hard times. They're seeing that they're about to be detained and go through what? Difficulties for who? For Esau, even so-called white man. Every hand of the wicked shall come upon him. Meaning what? The other nations. The other nations are going to come upon the other nations. Putin, which is Russia. Gog and Magog, which is Russia. Well, Gog, which is the people, and Magog is the land. But not to go into another lesson. But he's feeling the pains and the woes of the system, and he knows exactly what's about to take place. Most of these Bible Belt Christians down here in the South, man, they know what's about to take place. They know what's about to take place and what's about to go down. They know that it's over with, man. They know that Esau Edom is about to what? Establish that new world order, the MOTB. And verse 23 of Job 20 and 23. When he is about to fill his belly, meaning what? establish his what? His new world order. The Most High cast the fury of his wrath upon him, which is going to be what? World War III. That's what's going to hit this place. And it's going to be what? Esau time is up. And shall rain it upon him while he is eating. Meaning the what? That rain is going to be what? Those ICBM missiles. So he feels the pain. He feels the strain of what? Of their society that they have what? That they have created by what? By oppressing you so-called blacks, Hispanics, and natives of this land. So now they're feeling it. So this is why he's what? Having truth talks. We just call it truth talk because why? Because there's no lie filtered between his lips now. Because why? Because he's feeling the what? The pains and the woes of what society is giving him now.
I'm not using a metaphor. It's literally a Ponzi scheme. They stole, by coercion and violence and deception, the power to print and control money from nations, from this country, and then do it themselves as a private organization. They then started printing their version of the currency, not legitimate currency, not American currency, Federal Reserve currency. The Federal Reserve is a private organization. They put federal in there the same way the Bank of London calls it the Bank of London to make you think it's a government organization, but it's not. Then they loaned that money to people and charged them interest. Let me say that again. They printed pieces of paper with numbers on them and then gave them to people and told those people that they now owed them money. So they created wealth out of thin air.
Yeah, but he's a little, I mean, he knows somewhat of what he's saying, but America is good at starting wars. And when they start a war, what do? They'll go over to a country and they'll bomb it to death. And when they bomb it to death and knock all the buildings down, they'll get what? They'll say, well, we're going to give you money to what? To build. So when they build, give them money and give them resources to build their country back, or whatever it is that we want to call it, their nation or whatever, to build it back, and then they do what? They throw banks in there. So what's in the banks? Dollars, money, which is what? Federal Reserve notes. So now they are what? They can what? Tax the people in that land because they have put what? Their currency in that land. So this is the reason why, I mean, this is the reason why you see what you see. But Esau Edom is about to get his. This is Job 21 and 24. He shall flee from the iron weapon, the missiles. He, which is Esau Edom, shall flee from the iron weapon, or those ICBM missiles, and the bow of steel shall strike him through. It is drawn and cometh out of the body, yea, the glittering sword cometh out of his what? Gale. Terror are upon him, meaning his destruction. This red man sees his destruction before it cometh. Because why? Because he's always been aware of the system oppressing us. Now that the system, everything is closing in, and the system starts to what? Oppress them. Now they want to give us some truth talk. It's too late. Verse 26, because the right hand of the Lord is upon the earth. Job 20 and 26. All darkness shall be hid in his secret places, meaning total destruction. He's going to be consumed, just as well as we was consumed by their hands. Well, the Lord, because the Lord gives any and all men what? Rulership of the earth. So the Heavenly Father made them what? To be that golden cup into what? Their hand, into the Lord's hand. Which is Jeremiah 51. All darkness shall he hid in his secret place. A fire not blown shall consume him. It shall go ill with him that is left in what? In his tabernacle, meaning his kingdom. So if you, all you Edomites that are going to be over him, that'll be left over here in what? In the kingdom of America, which is Esau's kingdom, you know, which have been that golden cup, as I said. What's going to happen? It shall go ill with him that is left in his tabernacle, meaning his kingdom. So America will be destroyed, totally. Let's get a little more.
On top of that, they control the interest rates, which means we don't live in a free market economy. We live in a controlled economy. By controlling the printing of money and setting the interest rates and having other regulatory powers on Wall Street, you effectively control the entire economy. When they want it to crash, they crash it. And when they crash it, they blame everyone but themselves and say how they need to have more powers to be able to stabilize the market. So there's your economic prison. And then we have the educational prison, right? Our entire public school system is based off the Russian Soldiers Academy to create workers and soldiers and people who just obey. They put fluoride in the drinking water, intentionally, across the entire country. And where they couldn't put it in the drinking water, they gave you fluoride tablets. Fluoride is a neurotoxin. The only use for fluoride is to make contact directly with your teeth and rebuild them, except fluoride actually destroys your teeth. You need nanohypoxyapatite. But they know this. Saying that it was good for your teeth was only an excuse.
You knew it too. And you always knew it. Because your forefathers taught you. Right? But these things that the slaves, the one that's in what? In true bondage, they was not aware of these things because why? Because no one teaching them this. All they teaching us is what? Is to praise their what? Their Jesus. And be part of what? Part of their wickedness that what? That was created by your forefathers. So now that the hell is coming upon your head, now you want to give true talk. Now you want to give us understanding concerning what's going on all around us. But guess what? The ones that you, most of the ones that you were speaking to, they're gonna go right along. They're gonna see your video and they're gonna might talk and say a few words, and they're gonna go right back to doing the same thing they've been doing. But guess what? The hopeful elect, which is the 1/3, they understand exactly what you were saying. Because why? Because their eyes are open, right? Their eyes are open to what? To the Lord's wrath, to the Lord's judgment. And we understand that Esau, you have a bound that you can't go past. We understand that. Verse 27 of Job 20. The heaven shall reveal his iniquities, meaning Esau and his sins, and the earth shall rise up against him. This is why you are seeing what? America declining, and they're catching hell in what? Across the states. The increase of his house shall depart, and his goods shall flow away. Look at they doing what? They're losing their homes. I see more so-called white people homeless and walking the streets than I see what? We just say African Americans. Because why? Because now they'll keep, most of us have always been through what? Be catching hell in the Esau kingdom anyway. So we used to this here. So we're still at the level of what we have always been but the time is gonna come where Jacob Trouble is gonna close in on what? On everyone. Mainly the Lord's people, which is the 2/3 and 1/3, which is the one we all got to go through what? That trial. Right? But you 2/3, you're gonna go through that fiery trial. You're gonna go through that second death, which is fire. The increase of his house shall depart, and his goods shall flow away in the day of wrath. This is the portion of a wicked man from the Most High, and the heritage appointed unto him by the Most High. Let's see something real quick. Job 21 and 21 and 29. Have ye not asked them that go by way, and do ye not know their what? Their tokens? Yeah, meaning the signs. So he's very, very aware and clear concerning the sign that he's seeing that what? That America is going at a decline, and that they're what? They're falling. Let's hear a little more.
Use. Because you'd only have it touch your teeth, you wouldn't swallow it. It's poison when you swallow it. Guess what else they put fluoride in? The baby formula. So much so that you couldn't use tap water. Remember, parents, when you had to use distilled water to mix the baby formula? Because it would be toxic otherwise? It is now illegal here and in many countries in Europe to criticize a state that's committing a genocide right now. Capitol Hill does whatever they want. They just make new laws and mandates and rules all the
Yeah, but so when they were committing genocide, trying to commit genocide with us, I mean, it's not a day that goes by that one of us is not being what, gunned down in the streets. Now that that the hell is coming upon Esau Edom, they're what? They finding ways to complain concerning their kingdom being what? Being destroyed. No one can stop it because this is the right hand of the Lord, man. This is the fulfillment of what? A prophecy. No one can stop what's about to come upon Esau Edom, the so-called white man. This is his portion.
The time that go completely against your constitutional and human rights, which means you don't have
Constitution and human rights does not apply to you so-called blacks, Hispanics, and natives of this land. You know, I heard you all scream that all the time. That doesn't apply to you all. While you all trying to gather with the wicked to walk and to stand up for what? For so-called Democrat and Republican affairs that are going on in America. None of it applies to y'all. None of it. None of it. Because when their constitution was made, you all were slaves, man. Slave. Your forefathers were. But a lot of you all are back in the flesh. You are your forefathers. That's why I say you all were slaves. For them to have ears to hear. You all have been reincarnated back into what? Back into being what? In the hands of the enemy. The Most High made it to where you all cannot and will not escape judgment, even in death. Because why? Because you are coming back in the flesh to be born back into captivity. The same pleasure that Esau Edom, the so-called white man, is going to get as well.
To pay taxes, except they'll still arrest you. What does that mean? Their power lies wholly in the fact that they can exert power upon you, exert force upon you, be violent. They enforce their reign only through violence. That's all that.
We used to violence. Violence is all we've been getting over here in what? In Babylon. So we used to violence. Right? So now that your children and your family, your home is being what? Being ransacked by what? Esau Edom. That looks like you. So now it's a big deal. Hey, just just do what you can. Just enjoy what you got now. Because why? Because the triumphing of the wicked has come to an end.
They have left. They've broken every single agreement. They live based on force. That's not an agreement. That's enslavement. That's imprisonment. We don't get here accidentally. We don't create a bunch of inhumane systems if we're all human. There's something very unhuman about whoever creates these things. And if you...
Unhuman? The wicked. Job 9:24, the earth is given to the hands of the wicked. Unhuman, Esau Edom, the so-called white man, has always been the wicked. So now you are screaming that something is unhuman. Esau Edom he's the wicked of the earth. So what you got these Israelites, mainly you so-called black women, always trying to put Esau, Edom side by side with us in what? In our kingdom. Matthew 1 and 21. He said, bring forth a son, and thou shalt what? Save his people from their sins. Roughly paraphrasing. Not the whole world. So we've been being oppressed since. We've been being oppressed since what? Since the since we came out of our mother's womb. So now he's feeling it.
You look at history, if you study this, just the last 100 years, just the last 120 years, and you watch what these powerful forces, organizations, and people have done. They have continually added more controls, more oppression, more stealing from you, more taking away from your ability to govern yourself, and we can barely grow organic vegetables without the FBI up our asses. We're under occupation. It should be totally obvious. And everyone in those comments that was saying, oh, we're free, everything's really good, and the soul matrix has been dissolved. I channeled it on Thursday. It's like, shut up.
He sounds like he's a farmer. You know, the hundreds of acres that you own, it was stolen. So now the federal government is on you all because why? Because they want to give you what? They want to give you lab food. They don't want you to. They want to make their own source of food, which is what? Lab food, lab grown food. They don't want you growing fruits and vegetables and things that are coming from the earth. They want to destroy all the trees. You know, you leave Esau, Edom in power, there won't be nothing left, because he's gonna what? He's gonna destroy the earth, man. He will destroy everything. If the Most High gave him that power and authority and allow him to do what it is that he's trying to do, there won't be anyone left. Anyone left. The people, especially over here in Babylon, which is America, man, people that lost their damn mind, man. They have lost their mind. And all I see them doing is complaining online. But they don't what? Most of them are not speaking concerning prophecy and the things that are taking place over here in America and the reasons behind it. This is Job 27 and verse 13. This is the portion of a wicked man with the Most High, in the heritage of oppressors. Oppressors, who have oppressed more people than Esau, Edom? Who has shedded more blood than Esau, Edom, the so-called white man? No one. No one. Which they shall receive of what? Of the Almighty. That's Yahweh. That's the true God of the heavens and the earth. And the true name of his son is Yahweh Shai, who y'all ignorantly call Jesus. If his children be multiplied, it is for what? For the sword. Future captivity for you, Esau, and your children. This is what you got. This is your portion, or what lies ahead for you. If his children be multiplied, it is for the sword, and his offspring shall what? Shall not be satisfied with bread. Those that remain of him shall be buried in death. America will be destroyed totally. And his windows shall not weep, though he weep up silver as the dust, and prepare remnant as the clay. He may prepare it, but the just, meaning under Daniel 7 and 18, the saints shall what? Shall take the kingdom. So this is what we, as the children of Israel, has been waiting on. He may prepare it, but the just shall put it on, and the innocent, the Israelites as a whole, but 2/3 got to go during this time. Only ones going to be saved is what? It's the 1/3 of the children of Israel. Starting with the 144,000 of men, women, and children, shall divide the silver. Let's get a little more.
Shut up, shut up, shut up. You can be free in your mind right now, all the time. That's great. But we are physically enslaved. We are physically imprisoned. And we should probably try to get out of that situation instead of being delusional and trying to get other people brainwashed into your delusion. We have a serious problem. We should fix the problem instead of being cowards. No, we're already free. Everything's fine. No, it's not. It's terrible. It's god awful. This is probably the worst situation human beings have ever been in. Okay, because when the Industrial Revolution happened and people started getting
under the hands of who? Esau, Edom, the so-called white man. Verse 18 of Job 27 and 18. He buildeth his house as a moth. He was very comfortable, man. You know, he took it and moth take his house and he wrap it all around him and what? He's cozy and what? He comes out of his house to be a what? Blooming as a butterfly. He buildeth his house as a moth and as a booth that the keeper maketh. The rich man shall lie down, but he shall not be gathered. Meaning what? His kingdom and wealth shall vanish in the night.
Getting forced out of nature and into these cities, and they started getting sick en masse. Disease increased, violence increased. That was just one thing that still exists today. When public school became compulsory, like parents could be thrown in jail if they didn't send their kids off to brainwashing and propaganda, that's insane. If you don't realize just from that example that you're a prisoner being held against your will, that you can't decide how your kid gets educated, that you are forced to give up your child to the state to be educated on state propaganda, and you don't have any say. Some people are able to homeschool and all that, but the hoops you have to jump through. As a parent, the only thing you should have to say is, no thanks. No thanks. Because there's nothing in the Constitution that says compulsory education.
Is there nothing in the Constitution that refers to us, the so-called blacks, Hispanics, and natives of the land? It's not for us. You know, what they say, we are 1/5 of a man, of a human being. 1/5 of a human being, or whatever it is. Let's see, so I put it up right quick. Let me just quote. 1/5 of a human being. And it reads, 1/5 of a human being is mathematically equivalent to what? 20% of a human being. It represents one portion out of 5 equal parts of a whole person. The explanation, the calculation. I should have said, okay, the Constitution. Let's see something else. Important context. It's 3/5 of a human being. That's what it is. Historically, the phrase 3/5 of a human being was used in the U.S. Constitution to refer to what? Enslaved people. Meaning they were counted as only 3/5 of a person for purpose of determining state representing in Congress. So we have never, and so that goes a boom for you all so-called blacks, Hispanics, and natives of the land trying to be part of what? This system. It don't apply to you. So the next time a cop pull you over, just do what? Agree with thy adversary, man. Agree with thy adversary. Again, what the hell he asked for, let him do what he do or whatever it is. Because why? You can't win. None of the Constitution, none of those First Amendment, Second Amendment, Third Amendment, Fourth Amendment, however many amendments you can go down through, it does not apply to you all. It does not apply to you.
They made that law afterwards, and they didn't get your consent. We didn't vote on that. We didn't vote on that. And even if we did, majority vote, 51%, it's not fair to the other 49% that wouldn't want their kids to be in public school. The whole system is constructed to control everyone. And what do? They brainwash people the most in the big cities. And they remove them from the understanding that there is an intimate relationship with us and nature and each other. And then they confuse all them, and that's the majority of the vote. And they get them to vote any way they want them to. That's why they want you in the big cities, and that's why the big cities are the worst and the most violent, because it's the center of that degradation. It's the center of that corruption. And they get all them to think the same way, and then they enforce those city attitudes on the rest of the country.
Yep, that goes into California, New York. Anytime they implement these plans, they mainly especially California and New York, but they'll get what? They'll make the law, and if they can control millions, because there are millions, millions and millions, with tens of millions of people in New York and in California. And it's not tens of millions of people down here in the South, as it is up out the West or up East, right? So they implement those new laws and things that they're going to implement. They put it on them first, and then if it works on them, they know they got us down here in the South. Because why? Why? Because it's smaller. The demographic of people, that's why in California and New York, especially New York, they living on top of each other. There's really no room for all the people for real. They living on top of each other because why? Because there's no room for most of them to have because that's why when I was hustling, a lot of brothers used to when I used to deal with them out in New York and California. Well, I can say California. California got a pretty good size with whatever, but when it comes to the land portion, but New York, mainly New York, man, they on top of one another, man. They stand in rooms and rooming houses and all sorts of crap, man. And the freedom, boys, more freedom down here in the South, in the manner of them having more space for cause up that way they ain't even, you get a ticket, man, just for even parking. You can't just park anywhere. You can't just park. Everything's controlled. It's a controlled environment, and it's not going to change, man. It's not going to change. It's just going to get worse and worse. It's going to get worse and worse. So, let's see a little more. And I'm gonna close this out. He got a little over 2 minutes left.
But if they got out of that city and they took a camping trip, or they worked on a farm for the summer, everything would change. They would return back to a normal human being, and they would remember. And they would start to realize how bad the situation actually is. We're being poisoned in our water, in our food, in our education. These tech companies, the risks they are taking with collective mental well-being is insane. And the CIA tests chemicals and weapons on their own citizens all the time. That's not a country. That's a prison. It should be clear to everyone. And come on. This toxic positivity, denial, cowardly, delusional bullshit is just as bad as those people that are endorsing this shit. Because deep down inside, there's something wrong. And if we don't do something about it, if we don't say something about it, and we don't live and resist it.
But you know what? He got, to make a little more point concerning him saying that you same people that are oppressing people, that work for these governments, the state and government, you all have family members as well. You all have sisters, daughters, mothers, fathers, nieces, nephews. So you all that are oppressing the people, it's gonna go to your doorstep as well, dummy. You know what I'm saying? For those of you all living comfortable right now, and the government giving you all those FRN, which ain't gonna be no good in a minute. You all are oppressing people, and putting people through where the Lord, everything is of the Lord, right? The hand of the Lord. I'm just speaking in general concerning for those of you that are doing the wickedness of the wicked. When I say the wickedness of the wicked, I'm talking about the wicked. It's Esau, Edom. Just Job 9:24. The earth is given into the hands of the wicked. They are the wicked. They are in control of the earth. But you all so-called blacks, Hispanics, and natives of this land, you all are working hand in hand with the wicked to do what? To come down on the people. But this in the same aspect of those, or you all coming to the doorstep and bringing the hell to what? The doorstep of the people. Your family members as well as yourself you are not excluded from what? From the wrath of the Lord by the hand of the wicked.
To that, it'll just get worse and worse and worse and worse. I'm able to show you the document where they admit to imprisoning us. Of course not. If they're good at what they do, which they are, the entire system is so pervasive it controls every aspect of their life, they're not just going to expose themselves. But it should be obvious by the fruits of the labor, by how hard they've worked at this, that every single decision they make takes more freedom away from us.
Which is your forefathers. Which is your forefathers. I'm just calling him, he's what? He's computed to be Esau, even the so-called white man. He owns farms and land, you know what I'm saying? But it's always a what? Always a chance that he could be an Israelite. But he's reaping the benefits of what? Of Esau, Edom. He has a farm. Ain't no so-called black man got on no damn farm, not over here in America. not to the degree as Esau, Edom had hundreds of acres of land to grow vegetables. They've been living good, man. They've been living good. Let's go and roll it on out so I can finish up this.
More health away from us, more critical thinking, more free speech. It just keeps happening over and over again. They must like the result. In the end, it will be the evil of the few and the inaction of the many.
All right. So let's finish this out. Let's start back at verse 19 of Job 27 and 19. The rich man shall lie down, but he shall not be gathered, man. Again, meaning what? His kingdom and his wealth shall vanish what? In the night. He opens his eyes, and y'all, and he is not. Just as he fall down and go to sleep and put it and close his eyes, what's going to happen? He's even going to find himself back to being the vagabond of the earth, man. That's how quick it's going to happen. America will be destroyed, in 1 hour. Terrors take hold on him as waters. A tempest stealeth him away in the night. That Jeremiah 16 and 16. The Heavenly Father going to send out fishers, and then, let's just get it. I don't want to bush it. Fishers, then, which is fishers of what? Fishing for what? For the elect. But in the process of gathering the elect, let's just read it. Jeremiah 16 and 16, right? Behold, I will send for many fishers of Israel, which is the 1/3 of the children of Israel, which is the elect today, because that's the only one going to be saved over here in Babylon. Behold, I will send for many fishers, saith the Lord Yahweh, and they shall fish them. Who? Esau, Edom. And after will I send for what? For many hunters, and they shall hunt them from every mountaintop, which is governments, and from every hill, and out of what? The holes of the rocks. Because Esau, Edom are definitely going to be in those bunkers, man. So we're going to have to what? Fish them out. Terrors take hold on him as waters, and a tempest stealeth him away in the night. The east wind carrieth him away, and he departeth as a storm hurteth. him out of what? Out of his place. Of what? His place of what? Of power, of authority. For the Most High shall cast upon him and not spare. Right? Because he will no more, what that is, Jeremiah 51:7, no more be a golden cup. It was in the Lord's hand, man. That what? That whooping stick of the whole earth. That's who Esau Edom, the so-called wicked, or the wicked of the earth. He's what? He's been a whooping stick in the whole earth for the Lord. For the Most High shall cast upon him and not spare. He will feign. That word feign goes into what? Flee. Run away, drive away, put to flight. For the Most High shall cast him and not spare. He would faint flee out of what? Out of his hand. Men shall clap their hands at him and shall hiss him out of what? Out of his place. You know what? Let's bag up. Let me see. Job 20. Real quick. I'm going to close it out, y'all. I think it's Job 20 and verse 5. Job 20 and 5. The triumphing of the wicked, Esau Edom, Malachi 1 through 3. Malachi 1 through 3. Right? And 1 through 3, 1 through 4. Right? That the triumphing of the wicked, Esau Edom, the so-called white man, is short, and the joy of the hypocrite but for a moment. Though his excellency mount up to heaven, space programs, and now you can fly over the clouds from one state to another. This excellency mount up to the heavens, and his head reacheth unto the clouds. Yet he shall what? Shall perish forever, like his own dung. Because after 1,000 years, Esau Edom, the so-called white man, will serve the Israelites in the kingdom of heaven for 1,000 years. He's going to perish forever like his own dung. Because what that is, Obadiah 1 and 18, gathered together and burned. They which have what? Have seen him shall say, where is he? Where that red man at, y'all, that used to rule the earth, man? That used to give us hell. We couldn't even come out of the wood, out of our house and jump in a car and go down the street without what? Looking for him. Hoping not to get stopped for what? To get put to death and laid in the street. He shall fly, verse 8 of Job 20 and 8. He shall fly away as a dream and shall not be found. Exterminated. He shall be chased away as a vision of the night. That I also which saw him shall see him no more. Esau Edom. Neither shall his what? Place any more behold him. That's enough. So on that note, I'm say, call halal Yahweh Bahashem, Yahweh Shai Bahashem, or Kaha Kodash. Shalom.